Yo, what's up, everybody? Matty Ice here with Profit Props. This is the sharp side. As always, we will recap the prior day first. Kind of weird in football season here. But once NBA starts up here in about a week, it'll just be a daily thing. Anyways, recapping Sunday, 5-7 overall, down about 2.5 units. We do have 3 plays pending for tonight, hoping to get ourselves into some profit here. Quickly to go over our plays. Breece Hall obviously didn't cash. 0 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. That game was abysmal. Obviously incorrect there. Also had Fields over his passing yards. Missed both of those. Sam Darnold over cashed with ease. He finished at 295. Kyren Williams receiving yards over, cashed with ease. He had a 30-yard bomb. We needed 12.5. Daniel Jones missed by like 12 yards or something. I would play that again. Trey McBride's receptions missed, but two wide receivers, 1 tight end went out in that game. I wouldn't have played it if I knew that was going to happen. Kyron's rushing yards missed, finished with 50. Aaron Rodgers missed. It was like all the beginning plays missed, and then JSN cashed, Genty cashed, Chase cashed. We have Josh Allen pending, Roma Dunze pending, Bijan Robinson pending, and then I have a few others. Probably double dipping on Bijan here, which I've done a few times and cashed on that already. So that's the recap from the weekend. Let's get props.cash up and moving here. All right, a few plays that I've already released so far are Bijan Robinson over 71.5 rush. It's moved a little bit. I still think it's good to go. Roma Dunze, anytime touchdown, right up on that one as well. I still think that's good to go. And then Josh Allen under his passing yards in this game. Biggest reason for that from me is I think the Bills handle this game pretty convincingly, and I don't think they necessarily need to Josh Allen will need to be passing. We'll get into his splits later here. Here we go. So you can see he went over it at 252, 253 last week versus New England, under that in 3 straight, and then I've spoke on this with his yards before, but this game, he had 251 in the fourth quarter alone. Just an incredible fourth quarter, but that quarter's kind of an outlier. He had less than 140 yards, I believe, in the rest of the game. So those are the 3 I'm on already. We can go into Allen a little bit more here. Yeah, here we go. We can see allowing 150.5 passing yards per game is Atlanta. I have my model projections for Josh Allen in this one, right around 200. That's me making this game very similar to market. I make the Bills about a 4-point favorite. I think the market makes them like 3 to 3.5. So I'm a little heavier on the Bills, but not a noticeable amount. And honestly, like a 3.5, 120 is very, very close to where I'm at. So not lean under. I played this under here. I believe this was just a simple 1-unit play. Yeah, to win 1 unit at Rivers. Best line, DFS ups at 234, 230.5. All of these are still playable in my eyes. I mean, I make the line 200. Obviously, shop around and get the best price. Best price I'm seeing now is around minus 230. I did want to talk about some coverage stats in this game. Nothing that's like crazy, I would say. Both of these teams play a lot of zone. Both were right at around 73%. You're seeing Atlanta play the most cover 3 in the league, about 45%. 1 high, 2 high difference was very noticeable in these teams, though. Atlanta, the most 1 high in the NFL. Bills, 4th most 2 high in the NFL. Bears were 2nd most 2 high. We'll get into that in the next game. So again, nothing that I think should super shift your focus. Although I do think there's some players that might get a slight bump. And we'll talk about target shares versus zone and things like that. But just wanted to get that information out there. Bills do play a lot of 2 high. Maybe not a great thing for Drake London, but a lot of one high. I don't know who's that going to benefit. We could look into it. Dalton Kincaid, or probably not. Maybe like a Keon Coleman. Again, I have no bets out on the receivers in this game. Obviously, I'm on Allen's under. Michael Penix, moving on from Allen, I played his under. I still like it current market price. Penix is confusing to me. My model leans under here, but you see in these 4 games that he's played, such drastic differences. Basically 300 in the first 2, under 170, or not the first 2, the 2 he went over, and then under 175 in the 2 in the middle there. You can see on the right-hand side of the prop stock cash screen, Bills are allowing just 167 per game, which ranks them second. So we're seeing 2 teams that don't allow a lot of passing yards, the fewest amounts of passing yards between these 2 teams. My model leans under here for Penix. I don't think the game script fits what I believe is going to happen as much. I kind of see this one as like a backdoor cover. It's an 11-point game in the 4th, and Atlanta cuts it to 7. I love Bijan in this game. I think even if Atlanta is falling behind, their best option is just hand the ball to Bijan and get the hell out of the way. So I do think even if they are down 7 at half, down 10 at half, Bijan's still getting run in the second half, and even the 4th quarter outside of like a 14-point game. And like I said, I'm a little heavy on the Bills versus market, but even I make it just 4. Apologies. That's a long-winded way of me saying I lean under for Michael Penix, but I don't think I'm going to get there. Let me pull up my numbers. Passing yards, Michael Penix, 198.4. Best price is 223. No, I see a 227 at MGM and Hard Rock. Let's see what the market's done. Market's done the exact opposite of what I thought. And what it's doing is matching the game script. So I'm going to stay off. This line's climbed opposed to fall. We can talk about what Allen's did. I think, Allen's has fallen from as high as 233. We played the 231.5 this morning. It looks like that's still available at Rivers. Yeah, they don't have Rivers listed over here. That's why. I believe that's still available at Bet Rivers. I think they're in like half of the states. All right, as I said, long-winded way for me to not have any play on Penix. I did play Bijan over 71.5. Best I'm seeing is 72.5. Looks like there's a 70.5, 135 at Fanatics. That's fine as well. Honestly, I think all of these are fine, though. You can see here, rushing yards, 30th allowed, allowing 145 per game. I'm actually over on Bijan and Algier here. I just don't trust Algier as much. That being said, I'm way over on Algier, so I don't know. Maybe I get to it, maybe I don't. But I'm already on this over. I think all these numbers are playable. I think I came in close to 100. 86.9. So I still think all these are playable. At 73.5, I think you still have an 18% edge. So still find a lot of edge in this line. If you haven't played it yet, I still recommend. I still like the price. That's what I'll say. Still like it at that price. Moving on to Tyler Algier. As I said, I've been so split in this game. You can see I don't even remember what happened in this game, but just 9% of the snaps. I think they've allowed a lot of like long rushes as well. Longest rush 23, 22nd in the league. I'm torn on Algier. I'll tell you that my model numbers are over. I come in near 50. I know this Bills defense has struggled versus the run. That being said, I know a lot of that was like week 1. I think Derrick Henry had 134 yards. But we can go here as well. Historical lines, running backs. All right, New England, they threw the hell out of the ball. Drake May had like 40 attempts. Kamara had 70, and Miller had 65 in that game. You know what I mean? A-Chain had 69. Jets are the Jets. And then Henry, 169. Yeah, that's tough. I love Bijan's over. I'm probably not double dipping here on Algier, but I could get behind it. James Cook, this one would make some sense to me. Pardon me. Let's go see where my numbers are. I'm right with market, so I'm not going to have anything. Let me check the attempts out. I'm actually slightly under the attempts, but I don't agree with the game script there. I'm not going to have anything for James Cook. My heart tells me to bet the over. My model tells me the number's correct, so I'm going to leave it alone. And then Ty Johnson, I don't have any numbers, but I mention it every time I do a Buffalo game. Shout outs Western Maryland. You don't see a lot of people from in the league from out here, so shout outs my guy. All right, moving on to receiving yards. This is a line that's been staring me in the face for a week. I'm probably going to run it. Honestly, my numbers are like 50. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. I think I'm almost quite confident he leads the team in receiving yards. Shout outs to Props.cash, new mobile app. Yeah, he's leading London by 1 yard. Apologies. 270, London 269. 23 targets. That puts him third on the team. Let's go see how the market's moved on this line. FanDuel opened 31, seems pretty confident in it. I got a 30.5 at MGM. DraftKings opened 30.5, moved up to 32.5. MGM was down to 26.5 at one point. Disgusting. Just because I didn't get the best of it doesn't mean I'm not going to play it. Oh, shout outs to the Props.cash mobile app. I forgot about this. I can go check alts there. FanDuel 130. I don't think it's really worth buying the points or the 2 yards. They're not allowing a lot of receiving yards to running backs. I will say that. Second fewest. No, that makes sense. They're not allowing receiving yards at all. And what running backs have they faced? Not a real receiving back. A-Chain's good back out of the backfield, but outside of that, nothing really. I love the rushing yards. Maybe I do leave this alone. Leaving this as a strong lean. My numbers are through the roof. I mean, it's like the biggest edge I've ever seen. 56. Its average is 67.5, but that's just 2 boom games. Then again, he's only had 1 game under. As we said, this team allows the second fewest receiving yards in the league. They're also allowing the second fewest to running backs. They faced Henry, who, like I said, ran all over him, but they haven't faced like a real receiving back outside, like A-Chain. Well, Kamara too, low key. I don't know. I'm gonna stay off of this. Actually, I really thought coming into the show I was running this, but I think I'm not running this. Yep, we're gonna keep this as a lean and move. I don't think I even made numbers for James Cook, but I can do it real quick on his receiving. I am under here. I'm way under here. What's this line done? This line feels high. Open 12.5. Up, moved up a little bit. Is that 15.5 at Fanatics still there? Probably, because they like to do that 5-yard move shit. Atlanta is allowing the fewest receiving yards to running backs. Nobody's had even 14 versus them. Looks like there's a 15.5 at Fanatics. What scares me about this is we all know he can take one chuck down to the crib. Not what I wanted. Here we go. Model likes the under. I'm at like 5 yards, y'all. Let me check something out real quick. Okay, now, oh no, that's longest reception. Receiving yards over under. James Cook. Oh, it's 140. Okay, my site said 125. 140. I'm gonna leave James Cook receiving yards under as a lean as well. But pretty strong lean. Drake London. I like this under. I'm under his season average. He did have this huge breakout game. I'm at 53. And like I said, they play a lot of too high. I doubt he's ran many routes versus too high. It's worth looking into, but I'm not going to just base everything off what I see here. Let's see how he's done versus too high. Still leads the team in target share. Average depth of target's not that far. He's got 60 routes too. Like it's a substantial number. I'm gonna stay off of my model leans under here. I would lean under. Let's go see what the market's done. Market has soared. One second here. We're looking at Drake. Darnell Mooney is out. He had 55 in the one game without him earlier. That's really it. That's all I'm seeing. Damn. I'm not playing this. I think the market has moved too far because where the market opened is where I would have been on the edge. I understand Morey moves it, but I think it's moved a little too much. It's moved like 10 yards some spots. I'm going to stay off of it. Let me see something. Is that when this moved? That's what I want to know. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Moved about 9 yards after he was announced out yesterday. Okay, that makes sense. Model leans under. I don't know. Actually, I can go adjust his targets. Let's just say there's 2 more targets to go around for safekeeping. I probably get a lot closer to market too. Receiving props. Drake London. I still see a little edge, but now that gets me to 70, which, puts you right there with market. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Going to stay off of it. Let's give Kyle Pitts a little bit of a target adjustment as well. With a slight target adjustment, I actually have a slight lean over. Let's see how far the market's moved on this one. Two yards, a lot less movement. Third highest target share versus too high. Like I said, the Bills do run like more cover 2 than a lot of teams, but it's not a substantial amount. It's coming in like 22%. So it's not like I'm not overly investing in that. I have a slight lean over to Kyle Pitts with a target adjustment. My fault. Let me get everything in the banner. I see we got a couple people jumping in. I probably got someone retweeted me or something. Shout outs to everybody tapped in. So far we have Josh Allen under 231.5. Bijan Robinson over 71.5 rush yards. That's all I've talked about, but we do have Rome Odunze. Anytime touchdown. We'll get to that in the Bears game. Doubleheader tonight on Monday Night Football. 7:15, 8:15 Eastern. I don't know. I got people all over the world. Shout outs wherever you're tapped in from. Years ago. The inspiring thing is he has had no less than 5 targets this season. That is a really good sign. But again, this Bills team just doesn't allow a lot of passing yards, receiving yards. Let me see how they fared versus tight ends specifically. They allowed Hunter Henry to get 46. They allowed that's the only person they've allowed over 40 so far. I'm torn. I'll probably leave this as a lean as well, to be honest with y'all. But I do lean over here, Kyle Pitts. I make it 49 with the adjustment. 49, about 49 flat. Lean over. There's still 41.5 out there. FanDuel's at 42.5. Books have moved a little bit, not near as much as they did with Drake London. So lean over there, but nothing official. Ray had 51 in the one game without Mooney earlier this season. Tied for the season high in targets. I'm not seeing anything telling me one way or the other. My model puts this number at 16. If that tells you anything, let's see how the market's moved. Hasn't moved much at all. DraftKings dropped a yard. FanDuel's not really moved. I'm gonna stay off of this one. I make this number 16, so I guess like a slight lean to the under. But nothing official. Casey Washington had 33 in that game without Mooney. Versus this Bill is going to be nothing from me. Keon Coleman is like the one to me that could be interesting. Also Dalton Kincaid. But, I mean, I want to see something. Doesn't fit the game script necessarily if they're up. But again, this is a close game, so even if there's a lot of possibilities where the Bills come back and they're tied in the fourth. They're down 7 in the fourth. They're down 14 in the fourth and still come back. What was it? What were they down versus Baltimore? Was it 19 in the fourth quarter and won the game? I like Keon Coleman here. I like his yards. I like his receptions. I like his longest reception. He leads the team in air yards, I believe. Yeah, air yard share versus one high, which I said Atlanta was playing the most in the league by honestly a significant margin. And it's not like now I believe Terry Rozier was out here, but if you look at their matchups, like that's not like you don't look at those teams and say, oh, they only did it because of the matchups. Like, no, you played a lot of cover. You played one high versus Justin Jefferson. All right. Like that's just your system. $81 out of JJ. Abuka 67. That's when Evans was still playing. Yeah, you gave up a decent amount right here. JJ, Carolina. Held McMillan to 48. That's pretty solid. And then Washington. That was a backup, I believe. Again, long-winded way for me to say I think I'm leaving Keon Coleman's. My favorite play here is receptions. If I come back and play Keon Coleman, I'm going over his receptions. That's my favorite play if I play anything. And honestly, it's like a negative correlation, kinda, but because I played Allen's under passing yards. But there's a lot of ways he can get 4 receptions and still hit that under. All right, Kincaid is one I really wanted to talk about today. Love his Wait, is there only 3 books open, Kincaid? Hold on, I gotta refresh something. I'm not getting all the odds on my site, so I can't see the historicals. I will say model projections for Kincaid 4.2 on the receptions. Let me see. Looking at Dalton Kincaid here. All right, we'll come back to it. He says he's questionable, but he was he participated in practice twice. I don't understand why we wouldn't have lines up. Khalil Shakir, 4.5 receptions. I like Shakir's yards better. Again, I'm contradicting myself because I feel like Allen's number is a little too high, but Shakir's receptions, I make 4. Oh, no, that's Dalton Kincaid. If Kincaid doesn't go, I'm over Shakir everything. But if he practiced twice, I don't understand. Dawson Knox could be huge if he doesn't go. They've been very good versus tight ends, but they've been very good versus everybody. All right, moving on to anytime touchdowns in this one, and then we'll get to the Bears game. Algiers' price was crazy. Cook's price was crazy. There he is. Minus 160. Let's see the best price. Minus 160 is the best price on Bijan. I honestly don't think the juice is worth the squeeze there. James Cook, minus 155. I know he scored in 4 out of his last 5. I still don't like the price there. Josh Allen could be sneaky. Still getting some red zone rush attempts every game. I don't hate a Josh Allen anytime touchdown. Even money feels like it's a little light on what it should be priced at, though. Ty Johnson, every once in a while, will get like a red zone rush attempt or a red zone target at plus 660, plus 850 at FanDuel. I don't know, maybe worth a sprinkle. Still hasn't got into the end zone yet this season. Had a few tutties last year on some, like, I wouldn't call them gadget plays, but kind of. Drake London plus 155 at FanDuel. Looking at this season, red zone targets, just 3 in 2 separate games. Kyle Pitts, just the 1. Let me go see who leads this team. Shout outs to the new mobile app. Red zone targets. Bijan actually leads this team in red zone targets and red zone rush attempts. I don't know, y'all. That minus 160 on Bijan might be fair. Leads the team in red zone rush attempts and red zone targets. What is the total in this game? Low 40s? No, 49.5 at FanDuel. There's a 50.5. No, there's a 50 at Hard Rock, a 50 at Rivers. Kind of like the full game under. I make the full game under 47. No touchdown props for me in this one. Bijan is way too pricey. Bijan's too pricey. Cook is too pricey. Maybe 2+ on each of those guys or something, but nothing for me there. All right, we're going to move on to the Bears game, Chicago versus Washington. Let's go through my numbers. Jaden Daniels' second game back, right? Caleb Williams, I make the number 243. I see some edge to the over. I make them about a 4-point dog, I believe. 4.5 maybe. Market makes them a 5.5-point dog. So Leaning the Bears there a little bit, but definitely not backing it with my pocket. I'm sorry. Caleb Williams has dropped a little bit, open 220, 236 at FanDuel, now 234. There's a 228 minus 117 over at Bet Rivers. I actually do lean strongly into that number. What have they allowed? 24th in passing yards allowed per game, averaging 254. Let's go see. Held Herbert to 166. That offensive line is abysmal. There's Penix we were talking about. 313 out of Penix, 289 out of Geno, who's had an awful year, 292 out of Love. And then Wilson and that Giants team just ran. So everything here is telling me probably bet the over as well. 298 versus Dallas. It's a lot of poor passes. It's a model lean over, but markets moved against me. I'll stay off of this with a lean to the over. Jaden Daniels, as we were saying, second game back. I'm right with market on his pass attempts, nothing to get, or passing yards, nothing to get cute with there. We can go talk about Swift on the rushing end. I mean, his snap count really isn't dropping all that much. What are they in? Rush attempts 24th, rushing yards 19th, right around league average, 117 per game. I think that's fair. Like, what's the market line on his attempts? 13 and a half. I'm probably at 14 and a half, which is why I'm probably a little high. Again, it's a negative game script, though, and the market makes it a little more negative than I do, so it makes sense. Let's see how the line has moved. Looks like it opened right around where it's at, dropped a little bit, and then came back up. So this line's danced around a little bit. The over 46 and a half, over 45 and a half at DraftKings, I do like a little bit. I know the pass defense here is atrocious. I make this line 57. I'm not going to play it yet, but I do lean over there. JCM has been balling. I guess a lot of his advanced stats are like crazy. Like all of his advanced stats are crazy. He's like leading the league or top 2 in the league in like every rushing metric that matters. Don't know what the attempts are going to be. I see a little bit of a positive game script here for Washington. He's a rookie that had 3 duds. My model's going to lean under, but I wouldn't play the under here. If anything, I'd stay off or play the over. I think he's like due for a breakout. I'm at 55. As I said, he's ran a few duds. Let me go just hand him a couple extra carries, though. It's one thing I really like about my site. Yeah, what's the market on his attempts? Let's go 14. Yeah, I'm at 10. Let's just go 14. Yeah, see, now I'm at 79. I would lean over here. As I just handed him a few carries, like I would definitely lean over here. And then Monangai, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right, at least if the announcers say it right. No opinions here, coming in at an 18.5. Maybe that 15. No, it's minus 155. I would just stay off of this line completely. Lean over JCM. And I lean over Swift, to be honest. I lean over these 2 running backs. Might be something live I try to play. All right, Debo, which he's on my fantasy team. I think he had a questionable designation coming into the week as well. Looks like he has a lot more lines up than Kincaid. Let's see how his line is moved. I have a slight lean under here. Let's see how the line's moved. His lines dropped. That's that. I like that markets moved in the way that my model projected. It hasn't moved a lot, so I still think there's value. No Scary Terry again. Dominated in the last two. What did we say they were in passing yards allowed? 24th. Passing yards 14th. I'm gonna stay off of this without Terry again. It's a very slight lean under anyways. So probably throw in actually. Yeah, let me actually edit that and let me see where I come in if I give Debo 6 targets. Probably I might be on the over. Let me see something. Yeah, of course, Fanatics opened at 50.5. I should have smacked the shit out of that. They opened on the wrong side. The more I look into the Debo line, I gave him 6 targets. I come in at 68 yards. You can see he's got 6 plus targets in each of the last 2. He only had 3 versus Las Vegas, but he only played 43% of the snaps. So I really think his floor here is 6 targets. Without Terry McLaurin, I really do. So I'm gonna leave this as an over lean now. Actually, anything like 55.5 is a 10% edge. Even the 56, 57.5s were good to go. All right, let's move into Rome Odunze. As I said, I did take him for an anytime touchdown. Let's go see how the market moved and where I come in. I come in at 81.18 yards, so I definitely lean over there. It looks like the market has came up from openers around 64, 65.5. Big fan of that. Longest pass, last in the league. Passing yards, as we stated, 24th already. I'm already on the anytime touchdown. I don't hate this either. Washington run a lot of too high or just kind of round average? Let me see. Let's say below average. Yeah, 10th most, one high. Let's. All right, let's I'm running this. I'm running his yards over. Man, I just got a touch on Thursday night. Anyone that watched the Thursday stream, I told you I liked so many things on the Philly side of the ball. I said just take the Giants money line, and I mean I didn't bet it. I was half joking, but just the fact that they won was hilarious. I'm gonna run the 66.5 minus 112 at FanDuel because I know I can get down there without any issues. So. I am running this. Odunze yards. It's double dipping, but I truly believe he's going to have a big game. Receiving props. Yeah, 66.5, 112 to win 1 unit. In life, they tell you get what you give. Verifying location. All right, we're in there. All right, Odunze is in there. Everything I'm seeing, Scary Terry's out. DJ Moore, we'll go see where I project him. 31 yards out of DJ Moore, so a slight lean to the under here, but probably nothing I'm going to run. Ertz, I do lean under. He hasn't really shown up without the Scary Terry. I do lean under here. Do lean under for Zach Ertz. Let's go see how the market's moving. Market's moved against me. I'm going to leave that as a pretty strong lean to the under, but nothing official there. Anytime touchdowns, I spoke on it. I'm on Odunze. I think they're allowing the most passing touchdowns. We played this, plus 150. Even the plus 145 at FanDuel is still good. Leads the team in red zone targets, end zone targets, receiving touchdowns. Seems to be the favorite target of both Caleb Williams, and it seems like Ben Johnson is focused on getting him the ball as well. Played at 150, 145 is still good. I made the line actually about plus 100, which those of you that are on the site, I'm hoping to have that displayed in a good way tomorrow. That'll be my goal tomorrow to work on that. So that's the only one I have for now. Let's go through the rest of these guys. Caleb Williams hasn't scored this year. Does have a red zone rush attempt in every game. That might be why the price. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Jaden Daniels. Okay, that makes way more sense. Still, Caleb Williams, a red zone rush attempt in every game, hasn't scored since the first one. Plus 380 seems like much more fair of a price. But seeing the red zone rush attempts, I mean, that is kind of intriguing. I'm going to check something out real quick. Shout outs to the Jared Goff first touchdown bettors last night. That was disgusting. I'd hate to have something similar with Caleb. All right, nothing I'm seeing from Caleb that really is inspiring me to take this line. Daniels hasn't scored, been injured. Obviously a threat to score anytime he's in the end zone, but I'm not playing that. JCM, I'm not playing it at that price. Debo might actually still carry some value at plus 130. I'm more interested in Debo at this point. One second here, fellas. We're loading. Plenty of red zone targets, plenty of end zone targets. They allow a bunch of passing touchdowns. I think we found another. Let me go here. Looking for the best price on a Debo anytime touchdown. Can we beat plus 130? Debo. I got a plus 135. I don't have a Unibet. Plus 133 at Bet Rivers. I have a Bet Rivers. Let's go NFL. Bears Commanders. Touchdown scorer. Debo plus 133. All right, locking that in. Oh, and we have a second chance in here. Got it. All right. That probably going to wrap up the show, but we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. Plus 133. I'll give everyone the play 2 numbers when I wrap up here. All right. Yeah, we'll finish going through here, but I think that might wrap up the stream. I don't hate these tight ends for the Bears. Like, I don't hate Loveland to mess around and get his first touchdown tonight. But yeah, I think that'll call it. We're right around an hour into the stream. Let me make sure I got everything in the banner. I'll recap everything real quick, and then we will. Fuck, I just deleted it. We are on Josh Allen under 231.5 passing yards. We're on Bijan Robinson over 71.5 rush yards. I do lean over his receiving yards, but I didn't get there. We're on Rome Odunze anytime touchdown. And we're on his receiving yards over 66.5. We are on Deebo Samuel anytime touchdown. And I think that'll do it for us, fellas. All right, that should wrap it up. All right, add this to banner, scroll across the bottom. Anybody coming back to get a recap? Josh Allen under 231.5 passing yards. Bijan Robinson over 71.5 rush yards. Rome Odunze anytime touchdown. And a separate bet over 66.5 receiving yards. And then Deebo Samuel anytime touchdown. That's going to do it for it. I appreciate y'all for what the fuck. All right, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. A week away from the NBA. We'll be back 12 o'clock Eastern, 7 days a week. Maybe miss a few holidays. I'm excited for that to be back. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Best of luck tonight. Catch y'all probably Thursday. Until then, let's go.